Today is Monday, March 29th, 2010, and this year we are happy to be in Niagara Falls, New York. Mr. Chairman, members of the Executive Committee, members of the Board of Governors, fellow callers, partners, and guests, welcome to the 37th CALLERLAB Convention. We are very pleased that you are here with us. At this time, please make sure your cell phones are either off or in the silent ring. Before we start, I'd like to introduce the folks who make all this happen and who keeps this organization running all year long. From the home office in Topeka, Wade Morrow and his wife Laura, please stand. Kathy Mears over the door. And Roy Stent. Stand up, Royce. Oh. Your Assistant Executive Director, Jerry and Dale Reed. Dale's in back now. Our Convention Coordinator and Directions for the past year, Gail and John Swindle. My wife, Donna, who constantly reminds me, go to work. As you know, I assumed the duties of Executive Directors on June 1st of 2009, and Jerry Reed assumed the duties of Assistant Directors. It has been an interesting and very productive year. My appreciation to each of you for allowing me this opportunity, and my sincere thanks to Jerry and Dale Reed, John and Gail Swindle for their assistance in this transfer. Also, the entire home office staff wishes to thank you for your patience with us during this transition. It is now my privilege and pleasure to present the CALLERLAB Chairman of the Board, John Marshall.
Thank you, Dana. It has been, in fact, a very interesting year. Transition years are always interesting. And the group of people involved have not only done an outstanding job of working with one another, but also continuing to work with one another. And on top of everything else, they managed to do it under budget, which was an outstanding process. We're really impressed with them. And starting right after convention, the home office staff will now be allowed to eat again. But we have enough people in attendance. It's neat. Our attendance is just up slightly from last year, considering economic conditions in the world. We think that's really exciting. We're very much looking forward to Las Vegas. Usually we have a nice turnout there. They've welcomed us with open arms. Well, actually they didn't. They didn't even bother to respond to the number of inquiries that we sent, requests for proposals that we sent. Apparently we weren't big enough. But then again, they suddenly found themselves with space in a hotel, and they called us. So hopefully they'll do as well by us as they have in the past, and that should be a good convention. All right. Every year we have significant guests that come, and we're really honored to have them. We ask representatives from these organizations to stand when I call their names, to introduce them to you. Some of them you know, they've been here repeatedly. Some of them you don't. But hold your applause till the end. We'll keep things moving that way. But there are special people here, and we're glad they're here. Let's ask, let me introduce them one at a time in this order. Representing Round the Lab, John and Karen Herr. If you're standing with us, there they are over the side. Hold your applause, please. At the end, they all get one clap. Right? Each. So keep count. You must keep count. Representing United Square Dancers of America, USDA, Len and Connie Huell. Down in the corner, thank you. Good. And 59th National Square Dance Convention, Ron and Cindy Schoen. Representing the National Executive Committee, Gene and Connie Triplett. Over on my left, your right. Representing the 60th National Square Dance Convention in Detroit, Louis and Nancy Freelander. There they are. Good to see you. Representing the Paul Place Memorial Fund, Lillian and Jim Gallagher. Don't see them this morning. Okay. We'll catch up to them later on. Make sure you get to see them. I think I've not missed anybody. I hope. If we have, let us know. We'll reintroduce you 3 or 4 times to make up for it. Yeah, okay, someone's kept count. 12 claps, quickly. Higher math. Higher math. Yeah, there were like 3 extra, but that's okay. We have every year several CALLERLAB members who represent other organizations, wearing multiple hats, of course, and we're pleased to have these member volunteers providing their representation. So I'm going to introduce those as we go. Please hold your applause. And those of you who clapped extra last time, you have to deduct this time. You have to have, reasonable balance in your account. The 17th Canadian National Square Dance Convention is going to be in Halifax this coming year. Dottie Welch. I saw that. Knee-jerk reaction. The Alliance for Round Traditional and Squares, the Arts. Jerry and Del Reed. Jerry also serves as Executive Secretary for the Arts Organization. The International Association of Gay Square Dance Clubs, Chris Jensen. Here we go. Thanks, Chris. Japan Square Dance Association. Shozo and Miyoko Nishimura, Board of Directors, Chairman of the International Committee. Masaru Wada, Counselor, Japan Square Dance Association. Takosaki, Member of International Committee, Japan Square Dance Association. Representing the Overseas Dancers Association, Skip Brown. I thought you slept in, Skip. Square Dance Callers Club of Great Britain, Trevor and Chris Day, back with us. Very good. USD West Policy Board, David and Ruth Fullaway. Representing the Paul Place Memorial Fund, John and Gail Swindoll. Back corner. Okay. Representing American Square Dance Magazine, Bill and Joanne Boyd. Let's give them all a hand. Perfect count. If you're attending your very first CALLERLAB convention, please stand. And remain standing. There are... That's okay. Thank you. There are 20 of these folks here and partners, and we're really thrilled that you're here. We hope this convention is very special for you. Generally, what we find is people have been wanting to go for a long period of time. They finally get to one, and invariably the comments we get back are, why did I wait so long? And we hope you feel that way when you leave our convention this year, and that you'll come back every opportunity you have. I'm going to read these names to you so you know who some of these folks are, and you're going to see them. They wear a little ribbon that says first-time attendee. And we do that because we want them to be made to feel extra special and welcome, and recognizing that they may have questions and there may be ways other more experienced attendees can help them. So please keep that in mind. Bill Ackerman from Massachusetts. Steve Anderson and Dot Houston from North Carolina. John... Oh, I'm told to ask you to stand back up again, so you might as well get used to this. We do a lot of that here. So, Bill, if you'll stand, Ackerman. Right. Stay standing. They want to have a good look. They're going to get out the digital cameras. And they film at 11. Okay. All right. John Anthony from Pennsylvania. Francois Demoret and Barbara McClellan from Canada. Dan Faust from New York. Sue Gribble from Michigan. Jay and Pat Haynes, Pennsylvania. Terry, is it Hebert or Hebert? Who said Herbert? Hebert. I should have known that. You're the only Terry I've met this trip, so thank you, Terry. Len and Connie Huell, who we mentioned before. Barbara McDonald from Pennsylvania. Tom Mallory, New York. Must be an important person. Sydney Marshall. Ironically, that was my dad's name, was Sydney as well. We have Rachel and Roy Phillips from California. Phil and Tanya Rarick, Pennsylvania. Ted Rotwood, Pennsylvania. Wendy Sauvé, I hope. If not, check with Terry. I got it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Wendy. Richard Sharman from Canada. Bradley and Karen Smith, Indiana. Did I say Smith correctly? Okay, good. Gordon and Susan White from Arkansas. Heinz and Rosemarie Zbinden from Switzerland. Did I get in the ballpark? Okay. All right. Let's welcome them again. And please be seated. If you have attended at least 5 CALLERLAB conventions, please stand. How many is that, Aaron? Quick count, head count. 9. Please remain standing until the number exceeds your years of previous attendance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Somebody left off 27. They were hoping to skip over so you could stay standing longer, Randy, but you know, it's Randy on 27. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, there you go, Wade. 34, 35, 36. The gentlemen remaining standing have been to all of the CALLERLABs since 1974. Now that they're settled, please identify yourself when I recognize your name so that people can put a name with a face. John Jones. John Kaltenfeller. Melton Luttrell. Far right. And Mr. Jim Mayo. I would mention that Jim Mayo was our first chairman of the organization, and John has served in that capacity as well 3 times. No. 3rd time. Okay, I don't remember you 3 times. 3rd chairman. 3rd chairman from the left. No, well. And I think, well, of course, John Kaltenfeller outserved them all. Because John was our executive director, or other titles similar to that, for a long, long time. And we're always glad to have him as part of the organization. Melton Luttrell, of course, has been a class gentleman for our organization for a very long time. We're very fortunate to have all of you folks still with us. 37th anniversary of CALLERLAB. We expect all of those gentlemen to be still standing when we go through this routine next year in Las Vegas. We're pleased to have 6 members with us who have served as chairman of the board. Hold your applause. Jim Mayo, John Jones, Ernie Kinney, Mike Seastrom, Larry Cole, and Tim Mariner. These gentlemen are all here. They've all served in their capacity as chairman of the organization. And finally, 118 callers who attended the 1974 convention 36 years ago. 7 of them are with us today. Would you please stand when I recognize your name? Calvin Campbell, Jerry Helt, John Jones, John Kaltenfeller, Melton Luttrell, Jim Mayo, and Norm Wilcox. The only bad part about the way the program is designed is some of these folks are up and down, up and down, up and down. And we're going to do that for all of you. Would everyone please stand? We're asking you to stand for a moment of silence for those callers and partners who are no longer with us. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce the newly elected and re-elected members of the board. Would the newly elected members please come forward as I call your name? Eric Hennerlau. Ken Ritucci, please come forward. You can face the room. We'd appreciate that. Fulfilling the remaining term left vacant by the untimely passing of John Sobalski, we have Bob Pointer. Bob, if you'll come up as well. Thank you. Would the board members who were re-elected to the 3-year term please come forward? Skip Brown, Deborah Carroll Jones, Betsy Gata, Tom Rudebach, Elmer Sheffield, Norm Wilcox. If you would please face the audience to be sworn in. And as we introduce the incumbent members of the board, please stand in place and join in the taking of the oath of office. Clark Baker, Scott Byers, Calvin Campbell, Barry Clasper, Larry Cole, Patty Green, Bill Harrison, Robert Hurst, Vernon Jones, Tim Mariner, Jim Mayo, Bear Miller, Tom Miller, and myself. There's one board member, we're going ahead here. I think we need to do the oath at this point. So we're going to have the oath administered by our Executive Director, Dana Schirmer.
Thank you, John. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Accept this position of trust as a serious responsibility and pledge my services during my term on the CALLERLAB Board of Governors. I will put the welfare of my fellow members before my personal feelings. I will support the decisions of the majority and abide by the CALLERLAB Code of Ethics. All this I pledge as my support of the ideals of CALLERLAB. Congratulations, board members. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the Board of Governors 2010-2011.
One board member retiring from the board this year is Jerry Story. He wasn't able to be with us, but we are on track. Well, all the other names seems to be complete at this point. The CALLERLAB Appreciation Awards were first presented at Virginia Beach in 1992 and have been presented at every convention since that time. It's presented to show CALLERLAB's appreciation for volunteer work in support of CALLERLAB. The award reads, in grateful appreciation of your dedication and service to CALLERLAB by giving unselfishly of your time, energy, and knowledge to support the goals and ideals of CALLERLAB. This year, the appreciation awards were delivered with the convention packets, and I will ask the award recipients, please remain standing while I read your names. First, the Executive Committee has approved presenting Royce Dent an appreciation award for support to the home office staff by voluntarily providing editorial proofing and suggestions to many of the articles published by the CALLERLAB Convention this past year. Well, there she is. You are standing. Oh, having a nice hand for Royce. I appreciate that. Much of the work of CALLERLAB is done by our committees. Dedicated committee chairman and vice chairman are the people who make it happen with the committee structure. Some of the recipients could not attend the convention, and their certificates will be mailed to them. Your executive committee has approved presenting appreciation awards to the following outgoing committee chairman and vice chairman. The following members were not able to attend this convention: Larry Davenport, Kenny Reese, Joe Cromer, and Larry Davenport. And these represent Joe Cromer, Overseas Advisory; Kenny Reese, Vice Chair, Program Policy; Larry Davenport, Lesson Systems; and Larry Davenport, Chair, Program Policy. We want to acknowledge them even though they're not here and thank them for their services. Yay. The idea of CALLERLAB conducting caller training sessions at the National Convention was first proposed to the National Executive Committee at Anaheim, California in 1976. Plans were already in place for 1977 in Atlantic City and in 1978 in Oklahoma City. So the first CALLERLAB caller training seminars were held in Milwaukee in 1979. CALLERLAB has staffed these seminars since that time. Last year in Long Beach, California was the 29th year CALLERLAB has provided caller training seminars at the National Square Dance Convention. CALLERLAB would like to recognize our members that have given of their time to help with these popular and important sessions at the 58th National Square Dance Convention in Long Beach. Deborah Carroll Jones, Betsy Gata, John Jones, Ken Ritucci, and Randy Dougherty. If you'll please stand. These are our volunteer efforts that these folks would make on behalf of CALLERLAB in the training seminars, and they go in armed and ready, armed and dangerous, and year after year, and we do appreciate it. CALLERLAB appreciates it, and I know the people who attend really appreciate it. They always have excellent turnouts for those things. The following members were not able to attend convention, but they were also working in that capacity: Nasser Shukair, Frank Lespinier, and Tony Oxidine. CALLERLAB and the Foundation had a vendor booth at the 58th National Convention. We request almost every year to have some folks come by, if you have a moment or two, to volunteer to help spending in the booth, to man the booth, talk to people that are interested in CALLERLAB, other callers or dancers as well, and dance leaders from different organizations. Several members and partners did stop in at the booth to help. They are, and you'll stand, Stephen Cole, Vernon Jones, Mike Seastrom, Patty and Steve Green, Ron Kapnick and Ruth Edison, Dana Schirmer, Robert and Joanna Hurst, Bear Miller, Lawrence Johnstone, Tom Rudebach. Please acknowledge them if you would. And several others who were unable to attend who also participated in the booth and helping were Mike Hall, Dick and Vicki Henschel from Hilton, Cliff Simpson, and Jim and Ann Wass. I think we should thank everybody all at once. As many claps as you can get in 12 seconds. This year, the Committee for Community and Traditional Dance, the chairman, Bob Riggs, vice chairman, Calvin Campbell, hosted another beginner dance party leaders seminar immediately prior to the convention. There were over 35 people at the seminar, including 9 staff members. We plan to include the seminar as part of future conventions. Please talk to one of the staff members to get more information. Plan to attend next year. Also, talk to some of the people who attended this year and get their take on it. See how much fun they had, how much they learned. There's a lot of information that gets put forward there, and a lot of people take good things away with them. The staffing people, please stand. Clark Baker, Calvin and Judy Campbell, Betsy Gata, Jerry Helt, Susan Morris, Bob Riggs, Mike Seastrom, Otto Wortman, and Dottie Welch. At this time, we're going to give you the opportunity to view a video that was made at the Baltimore CALLERLAB Convention. The title is Square Dance Calling Me. Is the word "is" in there, Clark? It sounds better. Square Dancing's Calling Me. And we're going to take a look at that video, if you would. Can we get the lights dimmed, possibly? Prior perfect planning. We have a keynote speaker for you today, and we're very, very pleased to have this gentleman with us. I'm going to ask Mr. Bill Boyd to come up and speak with you. Mr. Bill Boyd from American Square Dance Magazine. It's a moving target. Good luck.
This answers a question to some people, why the heck did I have a suit on today? Second part of this, I have made a comment to somebody that when I call, I use a lot of notes. And then they told me I only have an hour and 45 minutes. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here. I have to be very honest. But ladies and gentlemen, board members, distinguished guests, callers from all over the world, I want to start with a statement. Being a square dance caller can be fun. If it wasn't fun, why do it? Oh, the money. Being a square dance caller can be challenging. Challenging in the fact that our music and dancers are always changing and seeking new things. And being a square dance caller can be hard work. Because we need to create new and interesting things for these dancers. But being a square dance caller can be very, very rewarding. And rewarding because we make, create, and bring joy to so many of these people who come to our dances, and it makes it fun for us. This morning I'd like to share briefly with you some of my thoughts on our future, our leadership, our responsibilities, and teamwork. You see, you're a square dance caller, and hopefully you're a member of CALLERLAB. And as a CALLERLAB, that means you're a member of a team as well as a team leader. And here I must emphasize square dance leader, because all square dance callers, whether you know it or not, and whether you like it or not, are leaders. And all square dance callers are leading us into the future of our entertainment venue, the future of square dancing. Now, Alan Kay said the best way to predict the future is to create it. Thus, we as square dance callers, we're the creators of our future. We get to choose the success, or we get to choose the failure of this great activity. We, as square dance leaders, must find a way while spreading our activity to our communities, our cities, our states, nations, and yes, worldwide, must make sure that we ourselves enjoy, no more than enjoy. We must love our work. You know, George Burns made the comment once, I'd rather be a success at something that I hate than a failure at something that I love. I got to thinking about that, and I say, wait a minute. I want to be a success at something that I love. I really want to be a success at something I love, and I say this and I believe this, because when you love something, you have enthusiasm for it. And someone said, well, what's your definition of enthusiasm? And I said, that's real easy. Enthusiasm is an outward expression of an inner feeling that's on fire. Now, Charles Schwab, there's a man who made a couple of dollars in his day. He said a man can succeed at almost anything for which he has unbridled enthusiasm. But you got to have enthusiasm for the activity as a whole, not be just enthusiastic or love where we're at. Because if we love where we're at, then all of a sudden we become complacent. And we all know callers that have done that. They've started a club, they've started a class, or they've taken over somewhere, and they're real happy with what they're doing. These people all started on the right track. But Will Rogers made the statement, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. If and when a caller becomes too complacent, if and when a caller stops growing, if a caller stops moving forward, so does our activity. And since I'm talking to leaders here, I want to paraphrase President Kennedy, if I may. Ask not what you can do for square dancing, but what can square dancing do for you? Come about it. Think about what you can do. The callers who are not leaders, the one who shun continuing education, those that don't go to a caller school, those who won't come to a weekend seminar, these callers who choose not to go to somewhere like the training we have on this weekend that improves leadership, that improves our training and works with us for calling skills. These callers are individuals who, whether they like it or not, they harm our activity. Experienced callers and trainers, like the ones in this room. You know, we have the responsibility, we have the obligation. We're the ones that have to go forward in influencing complacent callers and say, come and join with us, move forward. And it doesn't have to be, you know, as much as I like CALLERLAB, it doesn't have to be here. And I know it's like this worldwide, but I can only cite from Florida. We have a Florida Callers Convention every year. We bring in an accredited caller coach. The caller coach comes in and conducts either a 2 or 3 day seminar. And someone says, well, who attends these? And I had to chuckle because we had a caller coach came in. He looked around the room. There were 42 callers. Actually, there were 45 attending for the weekend, but there were 42 when he got there. And he said, looked around, how many callers here have been calling less than 5 years? 2 people raised their hands. Less than 10. 1 more. Less than 20. 2 more. Turner says, what the heck am I doing here? There, because callers want to improve their skills, talents, and capabilities. And you know, it's more than just working with just the caller coach. It's working with each other. You have a chance to learn. You have a chance to improve your skills. And if any caller chooses not to improve his or her skills, they choose to remain in the past. And if you choose to remain in the past, you stalemate the present. And as you stalemate the present, you doom the future. Think about this. As far as I know, every professional organization has a need for continuing education. And I do mean everyone. Doctors, lawyers, school teachers, actors, vocalists, printers, dentists. He's here somewhere. If you want to improve yourself, if you want to improve your craft, you do it through continuing education. Think about this for just a second. You need open heart surgery. You go to a doctor who graduated top in his class in 1976, and he's never been to school since. To the best of my knowledge, CALLERLAB is the only worldwide professional organization that holds national and international meetings for caller improvement. And as professional entertainers and CALLERLAB members, we have to act like the professionals that we are. We must strive to improve and update our skills. We must work with the people around us and say what's new and different. We must work continuously to grow our activity. And we as square dance callers realize that square dancing will not grow by short, frenzied outbursts of emotional outpourings, but by a steady dedication of a lifetime of work with skilled, knowledgeable callers and leaders. My God, John's looking at his watch already. And we are leaders of our activity. Now, some say managers. Some have even said caretakers. Caretakers, I'm not into that much doom and gloom. A caretaker is someone that buries the body. Well, we come every year to resurrect. We resurrect the enthusiasm. We resurrect the life with all of the callers that are around us. And we are leaders. We're not managers. There is a difference. Management is doing things right. Leaders do the right things. And all great leaders have had one characteristic in common. That was a willingness to confront unequivocally the major anxieties of the people of their time. And we as members of the CALLERLAB now must confront our anxieties, the diversity of our programs, our aging population, changing music, and myriads of other factors. And we face these problems and we resolve them because callers and members of CALLERLAB, we are someone. And I want to emphasize someone. We're someone who cares. We're someone who acts. And you know, it's absolutely amazing how much difference there is when you decide not to be something, but to be someone. Something is a caller. Someone is a caller who's continuously changing, acting, and improving. And as callers, you are someone. As callers, you're special. You're special in the undeniable fact, number one, that you're here, you're working. as a team member. We know that in square dancing we'll always have differences of opinion. Look around the room. We can't eliminate the differences. There's too many ideas, too much diversity, which is all a good thing. But we can all agree, and we should all agree, that we should be working toward one common cause. And that common cause is to foster the recreational enjoyment in our dancers, that they have a strong desire to remain in our activity and to encourage others to join with us. As callers, we continue to strive to achieve excellence. And we understand that excellence is not an accomplishment. Excellence is a never-ending spirit. And we as leaders combined ourselves to achieve excellence in our chosen field of square dance calling. And as members of CALLERLAB, we make sure that we make these dreams, ideas, and goals come true. You know, it's interesting that not one is as smart as all of us, but all of us combined, we create an energetic force called synergy. Now, Stephen Covey said that synergy is the highest activity of life. And in CALLERLAB, working together, we create synergy. And the key elements of working together are how to deal with our change, how to deal with conflict, and how to reach our full potential. And you know, it's really interesting to note that the needs of the CALLERLAB team, all of you, are best met when they meet the needs of each individual caller. And yes, you are a caller. You are a caller, and whether you like it or not, you're a symbol of authority and power given to you by all who attend your dances and clubs. You're a member of CALLERLAB. That makes you a leader and a member of a team. And what is a team? A team is more than a collection of people. A team is a force that's rooted in the thoughts, ideas, and all with a common goal of achievement, sharing, and working together. And here we work together. We work together to create a healthy, dynamic organization with which everyone in CALLERLAB can be proud. With this in mind, I challenge each and every one of you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, to be both a team member and a team leader. And you know, I've got one more point. Only one more, and then I'll close. Only one more. And this goes for all those who attended last year's square dance convention, or the last year's CALLERLAB, I must say. I have to make it a point that I never once put my foot in my mouth and use the word synchronicity. Mr. Chairman.
I think you're stuck with that, Ed. If you were not at convention last year, Ed Foote was our keynote speaker and did an outstanding job as well. And Bill, thank you so much. We're really pleased to have you done that. We enjoyed it. It's good stuff. I was trying to take notes and be surreptitious, but, you know, good stuff. Not really. You know, what worried me was this extra stack of paper that he had underneath it. You know, it's like, Dana's going to be getting after me in a minute. But last year at convention, Ed, as I said, did a lovely job. But one of the words he introduced us to was synchronicity. And so now we have synergy, synchronicity, and if you've been with us long enough, epiphany. That goes back even longer. Oh, that's funny. We have a little bit of time, and Dana's going to have some announcements, some housekeeping stuff. But chairman or vice chairman of committees who have ongoing projects or trying to start projects this year, we have a few moments if you would like to share at the floor microphone to let people know what you're doing and when. This information is all in the direction that was in your packets with descriptions, but give you a few moments if you have something special and you would like to make an appeal to people to get to your meeting. Please step up to that floor microphone and do so now. Be a good time. Good. Come on, Bob. Come on down.
Bob Riggs. Okay, now it's working. You might have to turn that on. Bob Riggs, Committee for Community and Traditional Dance. In your pamphlet, it says that it's at 2:45 this afternoon. It is actually at 1 o'clock on Tuesday in the Olmsted. Dana's going to announce that. But we have several projects that we want to consider. The CDP list, the CDP booklet that has not been updated for many years, and more discussion about the program that occurred over this last weekend. So please join us.
Bottom. 1, 2. And then there was Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Scott Byers from the Ways and Means Committee. We produced a wonderful product for you guys last year, which is called our yearbook. Vanna is showing it here. This is our 2009 yearbook. We are working diligently this year on the 2010 yearbook. We would appreciate any of you who have taken photographs or who intend to take photographs, please allow us to use your pictures to be produced into this booklet that we have. It's going to be better than this one. We still have a multitude of copies out there that we can purchase, a mere $20 a piece. It's only $20. Okay? In here you're going to see pictures of people that you've spoken to, people that have been friends of yours for many, many years, people that you would have liked to seen. Pick one of these up. It's only $20. We're going to be working on it during the committee, 2:45 today. Come join us. Thank you.
Corey Geis for Vice Chair of the Callers in the Schools Committee. The Chairman is Mike Callahan. We're a brand new committee, and we are in the Tubman room this afternoon, so we'll be in the tub, man. Just remember that. We want to invite everybody to come and attend because it's vital and very important that the schools programs, the junior highs, the the high schools, the grade schools, even the wee ones, have a positive taste of square dancing early on in life rather than the 8 tracks and the records. They have an actual live, energetic caller to promote the youth in square dancing. Thank you. And it's this afternoon at 4:15 in the Tub Man. Tubman.
Is that the hot tub man? Yes. I'm Betsy Gata. I'm the chairman of the Caller Training Committee. We have been working on a project for caller mentoring, and we have an outline of what subjects people might want to teach. We're looking for exercises and things to suggest for people who are mentoring callers. You do not have to be a CALLERLAB accredited caller coach to belong to the committee, and that's one of my points. We are seeking people who are working with callers one-on-one in a home program or are interested. I do not know the time and place of the committee meeting off the top of my head. Read your direction. But please, if you are working with callers, consider joining the Caller Training Committee.
Janet Stoible, Overseas Advisory Vice Chairman. We have actually no meeting scheduled, but if there's interest that we sit together with the overseas members, come to me and I think we'll find a way to make a meeting. Okay? Thank you.
My name is Michelle Mabey. I'm the chairman of the Handicapable Committee. If none of you know what Handicapable Square Dancing is about, come check us out. Also, we've been very active this year, continuing to update our directory and helpful hints, as well as we've put out another newsletter. We're going to be at the National in Louisville, Kentucky, and we also have a Handicapable convention in Gatlinburg, Tennessee this year. So come check us out, ask some questions. And a lot of people I've been getting lots of inquiries. Please come ask questions. We'd love to tell you all about it. We are on Tuesday at 10:45 in the DeVoe room.
Paul Hensey, Chairman of the Caller Coach Group. We're going to have two informals at the convention this time. Today, Monday, 10:45 in the Chairman's Room, and then Tuesday at 2:45 in the Chairman's Room. Anyone that's interested in caller coaching, please come and talk with us. We'll also have applications available. That's going to be in the Chairman's Room today, 10:45, or Tuesday, 2:45.
Dottie Welch, I'm Chairman of the Choreographic Applications Committee. We are finishing up the site and module resolutions document, but the thing that I want you to know is we're looking at a brainstorming session for a possible new project. It's kind of a cross-committee thing, but I want to brainstorm ideas this convention if we can. The goal is perhaps to put some kind of teaching aid information onto the website. Think of somebody who's teaching mainstream. They're about to teach a move on the list. They'd like to know all the stuff they need in order to teach it properly, such as our definitions, our standard applications, our call analysis, a few samples of choreography, possible singing call figures, modules. How can we do this? How can we make this work and be acceptable to all the different committees that otherwise might want to be involved? That's what the brainstorming is about. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
Deborah Carroll Jones, Chairman of the Women in Calling Committee. Our meeting is at 1 o'clock today in the Whitney Room, and I invite and encourage all women callers to please attend and join us.
Janet Oliveri, the Partners Committee. Our meeting is today at 10:45, but what I want to talk about is tomorrow morning's informal at 10:45. In the directions, it says we just come in and talk, but we've actually come up with a question and answer session. We hope that everybody will come and help us out with that. If we get good answers to good questions, we can create a document that will be beneficial to everyone.
Stephen Cole, I'm the chairman of the New Initiatives Committee, and Mike Oliveri is the vice chair, wherever I know you're here. We're the only ones on the committee right now. Oh, I think Janet too, his wife. So we'd love to have you join us. We're taking over the winning ways. These are bright spots in square dance land, and we want to talk about trying to get those on the website, but also turn the stories into living documents so that as people use these examples, how they can build your programs. But we're also looking at square dancing and what it's going to look like in 50 years and something else which escapes me. But I'd love to have you join us tomorrow at 2:45 to talk about how we can update and engage our square dance community.
John Jones, Chairman of the Applications Review Committee, and we do not have a meeting, better known as ARC. We have no meeting at this convention this year. Several of you have asked, are we going to have a meeting? And I said no, and they said, why not? And I said, we have no issues. Uli Brandt walked up to me earlier this morning, and he said, are you not having an ARC meeting? And I said, no, we don't have any issues. He said, I will give you one. It's not going to work, Uli. We're not going to have a meeting, but I've got an answer for you anyway, okay? But what I wanted to say was at 4:15 this afternoon, we have singing call adaptations with Deborah Carroll Jones and Wade Driver and myself, and we're going to show you what to do with singing calls, and we're going to adapt them in every way possible. It's things that you wouldn't believe that we're going to show you this afternoon. And tomorrow I will speak for Jerry Reed, that he's moderator of a panel that we have called Calling Extended Applications with Vic Cedar, Jerry Reed, and myself, and we're extending stuff like you would not believe. Thank you.
It is to speak there. We have so take that one away. Try it now? Okay, I think we're close. We're going to have Scott and I do the technology system later. We'll run that intercession. Okay. I think we're in good shape. At this point, let me reintroduce to you Dana Schirmer, our Executive Director. He has some housekeeping issues and announcements for you.
Thank you, John. Be as short as I can. Guidelines for conducting committee business and voting during committee meetings. Committee chairmen have been provided a list of committee members. Committee members must be on the committee at least 30 days prior to the convention to vote on committee business. Committee cannot override a decision made by a committee by mail. Any votes taken by the committee at this convention must be submitted to the entire committee to be approved before they are binding. If anyone is missing or has incorrect information in their convention packet, badge, etc., please see the registration desk. They will handle that for you. Anyone interested in running for the board may pick up a petition at the convention registration desk. Candidates must have been an active voting member a minimum of 3 years, must obtain the signature of 25 active voting members, and candidates will be given a few minutes to campaign during the general meeting on Wednesday. We will be voting on 9 board members this year. Petitions may be turned into the convention registration desk or may be mailed to the home office by July 1st, 2010. All candidates must submit a biographic resume and photograph to the home office by July 1st, 2010. All intercessions will be recorded by the Convention CD Incorporated. They do a fantastic job. You must use a microphone if you wish to ask a question or make comments. If you don't use a microphone, your comments will not be recorded. Each intercession rooms will have a remote microphone. I'm happy to say we have 4 brand new microphones this year. We'd like a volunteer at each session to oversee the remote mic. An order form to purchase recorded sessions was in your convention package. These recordings are a great way to extend your attendance at the convention. You will be able to hear the sessions that you missed. Committee sign-ups. Please sign up. Use the committee sign-up sheets in your package. Committee chairmen have been provided with a list of committee members, and please check with the committee chairman if you wish to know if you're on the committee or not. Please take a few moments to complete the critique sheets and suggestions for input for our next conventions. Critique sheets are very important, and your input is invaluable to the planning for next year. The home office staff will collect these critique sheets at Wednesday morning's meeting, or you may mail them to the home office later. Board of Governors informals. These are sessions for you. This is your opportunity to speak directly with members of the board. Present your ideas for future intercessions and panelists. It's a way for you to, if you have a complaint, to voice it here. If you have a compliment, you may voice it here also. Any room changes right now? We have 2 things I'd like to announce. Canadian Callers was not on the agenda. They have asked to have a meeting in the voting room at 5:30. So all Canadian Callers, please join Norm Wilcox. I believe he's heading that up on 5:30 this afternoon. That will be in the vote room. I think they're planning for the dance tonight. Committee for Community and Traditional Dance, Bob already mentioned that meeting has been changed to the Olmsted Room at 1 o'clock tomorrow. This afternoon we have a session on chant calling, a bird of feather session on chant calling. That's in the Sholkoff room. I was asked to tell people that is not only for lady callers, it's for all callers. So please, if you're interested in the chant calling methods, please go to that bird of feather at 5:30. Bird of feather sessions are special interest sessions designed to provide a meeting place for attendees with like interests. If there's a subject you would like to propose, make sure it's on your critique sheet, and we will plan a bird of a feather next year. Some of these bird of feather sessions have actually turned into sessions in later years. Luncheon today will be the first of 6 meals included in your convention package. Breakfast each morning on Tuesday and Wednesday starts at 7:30 in the morning. Your badge is your meal ticket for all meals. Special meal and diet tickets should have been in your packet. If you ordered a special meal, do not have a ticket, please see Gail or Wade, and they will find your meal tickets for you. Use the special meal ticket for the meal indicated. Must place the meal ticket at your place for the meal, and please do not take a regular meal if you're having a special meal ticket. If when you go to the banquet halls, do not tip chairs up. That's dangerous to the wait staff. Please, if you're planning on reserving a place, go in with the people you plan on sitting with, and that way you don't have to worry about setting up or reserving chairs. It's now time for our first of 4 beverage breaks. And this is the first of 4. The next session will begin at the next committee sessions and interest sessions begin at 10:45. We hope, and I strongly make this, that we hope and you have an enjoyable and educational, pleasant convention. If there's anything the home office staff can do to make your convention experience better, please stop and see us. That's what we're here for. And the staff that we have this year are very energetic, wanting to know what they should be doing better, so this is time for you to kind of get their attention. So stop by and meet them if you have not, and also voice your needs. If we don't know, we can't improve it. Your badge is your meal ticket for all convention meals. So remember, no badge. Thank you. I did have one announcement I forgot already. The youth committee meeting has been canceled. Thank you all.